Hello everyone, it's Truds here, and today we've got another Destiny 2 build video. As the season is coming to a close, I have decided that as a Warlock main, I need to put out at least one more Warlock build video. Because, damn, we did a lot of crayon eating builds this season. So we're going all out for an electrifying build with this one, making the most out of every single possible arc mod we can find and squeeze them all into one to create the perfect storm. As some of the seasonal artifact mods may be rotating out at the end of the season, this build may need some tweaking for future seasons in order to produce consistent Warmind cells with it. But the main base of this arc build will set a standard for any variations on top of it. So let's start with the basics here, and we are going to start with the mid-tree attunement of control. This has possibly been one of my favourites since it was first introduced with Forsaken, as you just can't go wrong with flying Kamehamehas. But the core of the attunement of control is a very well rounded build anyway. It has two great base perks which are good for all round gameplay and are generally overlooked. Ionic Trace grants the ability to produce an Ionic Trace on defeating an enemy. These traces track towards you, and when collected they grant energy to all of your abilities, therefore boosting the cooldown time of them. There's also Pulse Wave, which boosts yours and allies' movement speed when critically wounded. This is a great perk in all aspects of the game and is very helpful to get you out of tricky situations. You also get an extended arc melee ability with Ball Lightning, which will be very handy for this build. But it's the main super ability, Chaos Reach, which is the focal point of this subclass. Unleash a long range channeled beam of concentrated arc energy. You can deactivate this super too to save super energy, which, let's be honest, is amazing and drastically reduces your super cooldown time. And what's better than that, I hear you ask? Well, it's the fact that you can even pair this subclass with its own specific exotic armor piece to grant even further bonuses to Chaos Reach. Geomag Stabilizers. The Warlock exotic leg armor comes with the intrinsic perk Close Enough. Close Enough will allow you to top off the last bit of your super while sprinting, therefore further reducing the cooldown of your Chaos Reach. And on top of that, it also makes Chaos Reach last way longer when damaging enemies, making it an absolute monster for additional DPS. I mean, if you aren't running Chaos Reach with Geomags, are you even a Warlock? So that's the base armor setup sorted, but what about the rest of the build? Where do we go from here? Well, we turn the electrification dial all the way up. Introducing Thunderlord. This Destiny veteran is everything you could ever want from an arc exotic heavy weapon. It has a number of top tier perks and traits that create its own ecosystem of lightning storms. Its intrinsic perk, Rain Havoc, will generate lightning strikes from above on final blows. These cause additional area of effect damage to nearby combatants. On top of that, there's the trait Lightning Rounds, which causes this weapon to fire faster and more accurately the longer the trigger is held, with continuous damage also generating lightning strikes. Finally, it has Feeding Frenzy as a perk, which will jump that reload all the way up, and although this reload perk is getting a slight adjustment in Season 11, which will now stack an increase in reload speed depending on how many enemies you defeat prior to a reload, it will still have a really quick reload speed on multi-kills. So now we want to maximise this build with a number of mods and Warmind cells to really turn you into a roaming lightning storm. So first up, we want to spec into the perks to benefit Thunderlord, so we don't ever run out of ammo and boost the regen rate of our super even further. To do this, you will want to run at least one of these mods, but if you double up on them in your armour, you will get a further bonus too. Make sure to put the machine gun ammo finder on your helmet. This is an arc affinity mod which costs free energy and is so much cheaper than the standard generic heavy ammo finder mod. This will create a chance to drop more heavy ammo bricks on the floor for you. Then on your geomags you'll want to use the machine gun scavenger mod, which also costs free arc energy. It will give you bonus reserves when you pick up heavy ammo. You can also consider using the machine gun reserves mod on your chest armor for free arc energy if you have the capacity for it, but as we're using some other artifact mods, my build doesn't cater for it directly, but it is a nice bonus if you can squeeze it in. Lastly, you'll want to use the class item mod Storm of Lead. This arc affinity mod costs free energy and it will give you bonus super energy on machine gun final blows. This is a noticeable buff and plays into the already shallow downtime of our super. This one will give you your super back in no time at all. As we are using Thunderlord, you don't really need the reloader perks that are granted from your gauntlets, as Feeding Frenzy has got you covered on this one. Now we're getting into the Warmind Cells side of the build, and if you've been following the channel, you'll know that there's no better arc mod in the game this season than Tyrant's Surge. This seasonal artifact mod costs 6 neutral energy and will be slotted into our chest armor here. This mod allows you to create Warmind cells when dealing damage with your arc melee, super and grenade abilities. It is an absolute top tier mod, as you can produce multiple Warmind cells in a very short space of time in all situations, as you don't need kills, you just need arc ability damage. And as we are using the attunement of control, kills from Thunderlord will produce ionic traces, which will then in turn provide you with boosted ability energy and allow for a shorter cooldown of your grenades and melee abilities. And as the final blows from Thunderlord will provide a shorter cooldown of your super too, thanks to Storm of Lead, you'll never be left short of any arc ability to produce a Warmind cell. But it's no good just producing Warmind cells, we need to put them to good use, and there's no better use in this storm build but to bring a bit of thunder, and therefore we are using the Rage of the Warmind. This solar affinity worthy armor mod costs 5 energy and will cause additional solar damage to the explosions of the Warmind cells you create. This is just an added bonus to an already stormy build, but in all honesty you can drop in any of your favourite Warmind cell mods here, with even the Power of Rasputin being another top choice to further buff the damage output of the Thunderlord. As for kinetic and energy weapon choices here, I'm going to keep it simple with the base Seraph weapons of the Officer's Revolver and the CQC-12 to further aid with the production of Warmind cells. These two can be great with the combos of Timed Payload and Vorpal Weapon being good top tier perks to have on these weapons. If you have any further mod slot space left available, then spec into Discipline or Strength mods to further aid the cooldown of your grenades and melees respectively, but this really isn't required given the build that we've put together. This build is really strong in all endgame content, and anything with arc burn or modifiers, it is really going to excel and be a true workhorse in any encounter. Obviously you can spec into anti-champion mods too for Nightfall Ordeals and Legendary Lost Sectors, with Surge Detonators being a great option for dealing with Overload champions, and then any anti-barrier and unstoppable mods for your other weapons of choice. Again, this was a really fun build to put together, and making these videos and build guides for the channel has really spiced up the game for me. There isn't a day that goes by where I'm switching something up and trying out something new, which is what Destiny has always been about for me. I want to thank you all again for the huge show of support lately on the channel. We continue to go from strength to strength, which is phenomenal. We've got the new season fast approaching, as well as the Almighty on a collision course for the last city. Make sure to put your best shades on to view the show as we edge towards the seasonal climax. If you are new around here and enjoyed this build video, then please hit the subscribe button. It's a free way to support the channel and will keep you up to date with the latest builds here. Also, a rating down below is always greatly appreciated. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.